Good morning everyone, it's Jeanette here from Enthusiastic Gardener. We are at the end of September and I thought I haven't done a garden tour for a little while. Let's do one. It's the most gorgeous, beautiful blue skies without a cloud in sight. It's actually quite chilly, and goodness me, after the hot weather we had in August, as did everyone around the whole world, it's welcoming to have some cool weather. So here we are, the Liatris, which I planted at the back there, that has all died now. And yes, we've still got quite a bit of colour everywhere. I'm very pleased with how this climbing rose, this was really its first year. So I'm pleased with how it looked. Yes, it's a little bare, but it's a heart shape. That's what I'm saying. And I think next year, we did have some blooms, but I think next year, well, they always say, don't they? Plants sleep for the first year, creep for the second year, and then let's hope they will leap from then on. That's what I'm hoping. And then just around here I still have, that's the bin and the barbecue area, but this is looking pretty, my clematis, and I think it's a Juster. I believe it's a Juster. If it's not a Juster, it's a Dr. Ruppel. But for late September, that's doing very well. And then back here, I'm very encouraged. This was the Hydrangea that I dug up just recently. It looked dead. Now look at it. I mean, I don't know. That's the dogwood, and that's another little hydrangea. And yes, I nearly threw the dogwood away. Well, I'm very encouraged. I'm not sure they should be putting on so much growth at this time of year, but anyway, they're doing very well. So there's a look back at Carnival Corner, and down to my other new addition, which is my little fountain area, which has been a lot of fun. And you can see the Acer is already turning its beautiful autumn colours. I still, as you can see, don't have the right pot for that to go in. And I'm going to move these. These are annoying. These are fake, everyone. We don't need these. Let's take them out. Oh, we've got weeds as well. I haven't done any of my weeding, by the way. That's better. Let's get rid of those. And I've got some little pea gravel. I'll put that in the top of the little camper van. So let's walk down this way. I have a new plant to show you, or a new tree actually, not this one. These, they are all going to come out. My painted alliums, they have had their day. I think you will agree. But this is my new tree. It's a walnut tree. And this is the pea gravel, which I've been doing a Lindavata. I've bought bags of this pea gravel and top dressing all my pots, and I think she's right. It does make it look more attractive. This is my new tree. It is a walnut tree called a Juglans reglia. And the funny thing about this is, Richard chose this, and I got really worried because I came home and researched it after, of course, completely in the wrong order, after I'd bought it. And there was a lot of videos about black walnuts. Well, this isn't a black walnut, but even so, it scared me. Black walnuts, apparently, you can plant them and they will kill things around it, especially things like apple trees. Well, I watched video after video about the black walnut, got so worried, so I thought, right, you are going in a pot, even though you may not be a black walnut, I cannot trust you. So that's what happened with that. This is my other rose, which has also done very well, really. I mean, eventually I'm hoping that it will climb all the way up this wall. We didn't actually have very many roses, really, but there you go. Still haven't got rid of this table. That's on the list. This is my new area, which I've just finished, and I have sat in that bench that Richard made, which, if you didn't see it, it was a 3-seater. Well, actually it's more like a 2-seater, but a large 2-seater, and he cut away the old pieces of wood and made it smaller for me, and it's so pretty. And my beautiful olive, such an interesting trunk shape. So I have sat in that a lot. And I have a hebe, I have little lavenders. I have this, which I'm really loving. It's a phormium and it's called brown sugar. Beautiful variegated leaves. Then we have a euphorbia. Lots of these little carex plants, and the blue fescue, which I think goes very well with the colour in the chair. So I'm pleased about that. Of course we have the fatsia, and we have this yucca, which is called yucca jewel. A yew tree, another hebe, and a sedum autumn joy, and my cat. So I'm very pleased with this, how this has turned out. I think it looks very pretty. Someone did suggest putting gravel, but I think it would take so much gravel, it would cost a lot of money. You would need to put it on really, really thickly, and the weeds probably still come through. So I just get my hoe, and I find it really, really quick. I mean, I've got little weeds, you can see. Everyone has weeds, but I use my hoe and I can get around everything, and it's not a difficult job. A couple of minutes every now and then. So that's that area. Now we're moving into the sun just along here, so it's not going to be quite as good for videoing, because it's always better in the shade to see the plants. Chinese plumbago, and it's been filled with pollinators, so that's been lovely. It's always lovely, and it just looks after itself. I just literally hack it down in the spring and it just does its own thing. Loving life. This is an apple tree which is very young still, and I do need to prune it. I need to research. I always just watch other people's YouTube videos of how to do everything, because I'm learning all the time. We have a selection of heucheras, and this is my wonderful Trachycarpus fortunii, which I'd wanted one of these. It's been in for a year, and I think it's grown about a foot since I planted it, so it's very happy. The fountain needs some TLC because, yes, as you can see, this fountain, we will get this fountain right. Next time when we paint it, it's going to have a coat of varnish, definitely. That's a holly. I have a lot of euonymus because they do so well for me. I like the colours. I can make them into topiaries. This one is just, does its own thing, it's always happy. And you can see in the back my Ilex crenata, which is my beautiful little cloud formed topiary, which I adore. Now this, I'm giving this another chance. This is my Salix flamingo tree, which is not happy at all. I mean, that's all it's done this year. It's obviously got a lot of growth, so we will leave it there, see how it does. We have Nandines. They are always good and easy to look after. Just do their own thing, look after themselves. As does this, my Mahonia. It was right up here and I cut it down, I think it was a year ago, so I obviously did something to it, and it hasn't flowered ever since. We still have a few roses left, and I always just keep pruning and deadheading down to 5 leaves, and then lots more roses come back. There's a peony in the front, that didn't bloom at all, but I did have a lot of buddleias here which I took out, and so now that will get much more sunlight and hopefully will do much better next year. We've got an Erissimum which flowered so much in the spring, and it's started a few more flowers now. It's getting a little windy, so I hope that you can hear me okay. This is the new area that I did last weekend with my new beautiful colourful heucheras and my new pots. I'm very pleased with that. A Petilia red robin. Back along here, and we're going up now towards the Shady Garden. There's my Fatsia. You can see the leaves starting, and soon, oh gosh, all these trees that are just the other side of my garden are turning bronze and yellow, and they are all going to be in my garden. Oh my goodness. But anyway, they've just started to fall. A couple of my ferns haven't done very well, such as this one here. I bought 2 different varieties, and 2 of the varieties, such as this one, or one of the varieties, and those along there are doing fantastic. But then the other 2, which is this one and one further along, not so happy. But I don't know if you can see the little hedging that I did with all the euonymus, different types and different varieties. They have actually grown. I mean, they may look small at the moment, but they have grown. I planted them in the spring, and I've only lost one, I think, up the end. I've lost a couple of the Carex. The one underneath the seat furthest away, well, that's not done so well. The Aralia elata, i.e. the stick, that's losing its leaves already. It will be very soon, it will be just a stick once more. And then Richard can complain about the stick for the next 6 months. My little euonymus topiary, the one that I platted, it was just an ordinary ugly looking shrub, and you can see that I platted it and I made it into a little round ball, and it's happy and I like it. This is an apple tree. I need to research how to prune, as I said before. And my beautiful rhododendron, which is happy in its pot. You can see that I've top dressed all my pots with the little pebbles. And it's got a lot of buds, which some of you told me that means it's setting its flowers for next year. So I think this will look gorgeous next year. So here we are. This is the view from this end of the garden. So that's one of my seating spots, which if you didn't see, Richard made this chair for me as well. That was a 3-seater bench that we had for maybe 25 years. It was in our other house. We brought that with us and he made that into a beautiful little 1-seater. He said this chair was a lot more work than the one we saw right over the other side by the mirror. Apparently this one was much more work. Straight ahead we have a hydrangea. This is a vanilla phrase. Never done very well. I'm just not a hydrangea grower. I don't know. It's not happy. And another thing that's not happy, very, very sad to report. This, look, it's dead. This has got to come out. This was the euonymus that we moved. It was just, where's my finger? Let's get my, there. It was there. And when I put the chair there, a few of you said, you have to move it. It's right in the way. So we dug it up. It was a hell of an effort. And we put it there. Fingers crossed, but that's got to come out, unfortunately. And the crocosmia, which I moved, that did ever so well. And I'm going to let the leaves die back because it's one of those plants where you need to let the leaves take in the sun and feed the rhizomes or bulbs. But that's been very pretty. This is my David Austin rose that I freed from the cage. Didn't do it any favours. Let's come this way because I can't actually see what's on the camera. The sun's in my eyes. It's very, very big rose. So what I'm going to do, I keep saying this, but I will do this in the spring or even in the late winter. I'll move it and I'll move it over the back somewhere because I think it's like 8 feet tall. And here we just have some osteospermum. I grew those from seed. We've still got the last few flowers. They don't open unless it's sunny. My Veronicastrum, I cut it all and it's got the tiniest bits of regrowth. That doesn't seem to have been very happy in this spot either, so that's probably going to be moved. The salvia behind it, that's its second lot of blooms because I did chop it right back, so that's done very well. Bay tree, always easy to look after. This hebe is just beautiful. It's the one that I made into a standard. It was an enormous bush and basically I cut every stem but one and it wasn't even straight. But I staked it for maybe a few months and now it stands up on its own and it is just lovely. And this is its second set of blooms this year. Really is lovely. We just have some begonias in pots. Another heuchera. I have a lot of heucheras. That's my plum tree, which it grows wild and I'm just keep chopping it off into a topiary ball shape so I don't ever expect to see any plums. I'll be amazed. This rose, as I say, it keeps blooming. I keep cutting it to 5 leaves, and it just keeps rewarding me with more and more. We're about to have some more soon. The zinnias. The zinnias are nearly as tall as me. The zinnias are amazing. This is just 3 little plants and you get this. And I grew these from seed, and this has been blooming for months, and it lasted all through the hot weather we had. Fantastic. I'm going to have, if nothing else, I will have zinnias next year. I like this view. When I sit in the lounge, which is behind me, this is the view that I see through the window. And my lemon cypresses, you can see the one on the right is actually a lot fatter than the one on the left. But they're beautiful. That's the way they want to grow, that's how they can grow. I'm happy with that. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. Now this here, this has all reseeded itself. I grew from seed this Cerinthe purpuricans, and I pulled it all out a month ago, and it's just seeded itself everywhere. This wasn't even in the area where I'd planted it. I planted it kind of here, and now it's popping up everywhere. And I'm just going to leave it, I think, see what happens. That's my cherry tree, which I did have cherries on earlier, and I ate them and they were lovely. We have another topiary euonymus, and look at this beautiful, beautiful sedum autumn joy. It's enormous, and to be honest, it would be twice the size of this, but I cut a lot of the stems off around the edges. I don't know if you can see that, because they're growing again, because it was just so big. So what I need to do next year, I'm going to divide that, move it, dot it around, and we can have beautiful autumn sedum joy everywhere. As long as it's got sunshine, it's happy. Verbena bonariensis is flopping over. I'll probably transplant some of this Carex as well. But that is it, everyone. That is my garden at the end of September. This is the view. I'm going to sit down in my other chair. This is the view from my chair. It's a beautiful day today. Beautiful blue skies, but it's quite chilly. I think the next jobs will be, well, I have to do my weeding. Haven't done that. I need to keep on top of that. The leaves, as I say, all those leaves I will get in my garden. I'm going to spare you seeing me yet again another year of tidying up my leaves. I won't show you that. I won't show you me bulb planting either, because that is, oh gosh, those two are the worst jobs. Bulb planting and leaf picking up, I'm not going to show you. Hopefully all my daffodils will come back, all the daffodils which I planted last spring, or last October rather, and hopefully they will come back. I think I will be posting much less. I'm not going to try and keep up every Tuesday, and really my garden, I feel like it's kind of maxed out. I feel like I'm running out of content to show you all, to be quite honest. And I don't want to be boring and just show you me sweeping up leaves and planting bulbs, because there's so many other videos which would do it so much better than I do. But my garden is small, as I say, and yes, I think I will be posting a little less in future. So I hope you won't be disappointed. One of the reasons why I want to continue is because of all of you, my beautiful friends. I feel like we are all friends, and I don't want to let you down. So I will post, but it's not going to be as regular, unfortunately. I will definitely see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye.